Hey guys, so now I just want to see basically what I do to install my wig, so I'm getting straight into it. I'm basically taking this foundation stick and I'm applying the foundation all over to my wig cap, and today I did the what's it called, the wig cap method or the stocking cap method, where you basically got to be glued down the spray onto your head. Then you use the shade of your foundation to match. That's my wig right there, and that's the wig that I'm going to be using today. It is a full lace wig, and I added these little crimps to it. So yeah, that's how it is, and we're just going to begin to install it. So I'm also going to be adding some of the same foundation shade onto the lace, and this is going to help your lace to blend really well with your skin. So yes, look at it right there. Already looks pretty good. I've already tweezed the frontal. It was a lot more fuller, and yeah, I really like it. So I'm just measuring up the sides. It's still not in the middle. I don't know what I was doing, but it's still not in the middle, but I will adjust all of that. So I roll the frontal back and I take some alcohol, some rubbing alcohol. I'm just going to be taking a paper towel and I'm rubbing that, take away any excess grease or makeup or anything, because you want that area to be really clean before you apply the adhesive. So just making sure everything is nice and clean. Now the adhesive I'm using is the Bow Hold Extreme Cream. Mine is almost finished, but there's still some in the bottom, so I'm gonna be using a tiny brush. I'm just gonna be, yeah, almost finished. Taking the brush and I'm gonna be using it to apply the adhesive to my skin. So with this adhesive, I've been told that the less you use, the better it will be. So I'm not gonna be using too much. I'm not gonna even layer it that much. I'm just gonna be using the brush to rub it like so, as you can see across my hairline. And actually, based on like recent videos, some people might say I'm even using too much at this point. Um, yeah, but this is how I use it, and I just wait for it to dry clear. I'm also going to be trying out the bow hold tape today. I've never used the tape before, but I'm really interested. But I'm only going to use the tapes on the sides because that's where I mostly have the problems. If you're like me, the sides are a problem. So the glue is clear now, so I'm going to be taking the lace and pulling it down onto where I want the lace to stick. So I'm just looking into the mirror and I'm pulling down the frontal basically to the front, and then I'm going to be pressing, using my fingers to press the lace into the adhesive. So I'm just making some really ugly faces, but yeah, don't mind that. Yeah, so I'm just pressing everything in right now to make sure everything sticks and everything looks really good. Okay, so now that I've pressed everything in, I'm just checking to make sure everything is sticking and I don't have any like loops or anything that is gonna make it look like not flat. So ensure that you press it down, and pressing it down also helps to remove the gritty effect that sometimes you'll see on frontals. So now it's time to tackle the cutting part of it. So basically all you're going to be doing is, I usually start from the center. I cut off the lace from the center, and then I go along one side and then I go along the other side. So you just want to cut in the shape of how your frontal um the edges are. So you don't want to cut a straight line across. I know a lot of people do that, and that's not going to give you a very natural look. You want to cut basically just along the curves and the crevices of how your frontal is shaped, just like you see me doing right here. So basically, I'm trying to get very, very close. The closer you get, the more natural it will look because you're going right up to the thinned hairline, and that what makes it look natural. A lot of people think leaving lace at the front is actually what makes it look natural, but that's really not the best way to go about it. I would definitely recommend going straight up to your tweezed hairline. Once your hairline is tweezed and you go straight up to it, it gives it an even more natural look. As you guys can see, it is coming along, and you also want to go by in sections. So if you're doing this, you don't want to do everything at once. You want to go section by section, and especially because I'm putting on the tape. Now I'm at the edge, so I'm just gonna put on the tape. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. I haven't watched any videos of how to install it. I just basically read the instructions. So you're gonna peel it off at the back and you're gonna stick it onto your sides. And it's like a double-sided tape basically. So here I am just putting the tape on and pressing it down. Then I'm gonna remove the top part of the tape. So it has a little slit in the middle, and then you just begin to peel off one section and then the other section. Now I'm peeling off this section with my hands, but you're gonna see the other side is a little bit more tricky to pull off, and because I don't want my hands to the grease on my hands to get on the tape, I use a tweezer and everything is off. I have a little section that didn't have any glue, so I'm just applying a little bit of the glue right there just to make sure everything is once again seamless and doesn't have any gaps where you can see parts of the lace lifting up. You definitely don't want that. Not really sure I put on the tape correctly, but it is my first time. The glue, I pretty much use the glue all the time, but here we go. So I've placed the lace exactly where I wanted. Now I'm just going to be cutting off the excess lace. Now I'm moving the hair over to the other side so I can see the ear, because the ear sometimes is a little bit tricky, but you just want to cut around the ear. So move all the hair out of your face. Sometimes your frontals are very big and you have to cut the lace and some of the hair on the frontal or your full lace wig, but that's totally fine. You just want to make sure that it matches your head. I didn't really focus on the back because I wasn't trying to do an updo or anything. So I pretty much left the back as is, but I did cut off everything at the front and the sides. Now this part is really, really important because this can make or break your frontal. So when you see any part of your frontal that's lifting up, especially the edges, like that little section right there, you want to go ahead and make sure that it is all glued down, because that's what's gonna, the edges really make a difference in whether or not your frontal looks seamless. So I added some glue there and now I'm just patting it down. You want to be able to brush your hair back without anything flapping up, and that's how you know everything is super flat, and that's what you're aiming for. Just using this brush to basically press down everything again to make sure everything is super flat and looking very natural. Okay, so now I think that side is looking pretty good. I'm just going to be repeating the same thing onto the other side. So I'm just cutting a lace basically in the same thing, doing the same thing. Whatever feels comfortable for you. I'm starting a little bit in the middle of right there because it felt comfortable for me right there. But I'm applying the same method. So cutting off the lace and everything. Now right here, I have to cut off some of the hair because that side was a little bit too long. So that's what I mean when I say you have to cut off some of the lace and the hair sometimes, but it's really not a big deal. The rest of your hair is not going to fall out or anything. I usually just part the side and then just cut through the part. I find that to be very easy to do. And now I'm just cutting off the excess lace that's connected to the back. And you just want to take your time and do this. If you're in a rush, I probably wouldn't recommend doing this. If you really want it to look very nice, you got to take your time a little bit and make sure you're getting everything cut right and all. So that's the excess part that I had to cut off. And now I'm just applying the excess lace that I want to adhesive right to the edges to make sure everything is looking flat. I feel that I found that there was a little bit to the side that I didn't apply, so I had to go back and apply some lace after. But I had some excess glue, so I just went ahead and took the alcohol and removed the excess glue because you definitely don't want that to stay, especially if you're gonna add on your makeup. When you do, it's gonna leave this very weird sticky residue that you don't want. So yeah, I would stay away from that. So now that my frontal is looking like this, I normally don't do a lot of baby hairs. I like very minimal baby hairs. So I'm gonna try and do some baby hairs. I'm actually not really good at baby hairs, to be honest. So firstly though, I'm gonna take some mousse and I'm just gonna try and brush everything back. The mousse that I'm using is the Cantu mousse. I really like this mousse. I don't know why. I just feel like it's a really good mousse. I applied some, not a lot, very little bit right there. You don't want to soak the frontal. And I just brush most of the hair back. Prior to the video, I did use a hot comb to brush some of the hair back. But the mousse I use to ensure that everything looks a little bit more flat on the head and also helps me when I'm doing my baby hairs. So now I'm taking this little wrap and I'm gonna tie it down. But honestly, I was doing this video and it was pretty late, so I said, okay, let me do the baby hairs and then try to tie it down. I'm always making up my face like this. It's really not hard. You see me making up my face like this? I'm so sorry. I have these really angry. And I'm taking this little razor and I'm just gonna cut the baby hairs and make them much smaller. I do not like long baby hairs at all. It's not a goal for me. Then I'm gonna take a spoolie to do my baby hairs because I really suck at baby hairs and I feel like the only way I could really do them that well is when I use a spoolie. The spoolie works great for me. I'm taking some gel and I'm just using it, putting a little bit on the spoolie and trying to do my best to do that little sweep. Baby hairs are really not my forte. But personally, I don't really love them anyways, so it's not really a big deal. But I do like a little something. So that's what I'm trying to do right there. So I thought that was the only baby hair that I wanted. So I went ahead and I used the wrap to tie down everything. And I really like using the wrap or a scarf. Actually, I like a scarf a little bit more because it further seals the lace into your scalp and makes it look even better. So that's what I was trying to do right here. Leave a comment if you think the scalp look good. If nothing else don't look good, tell me say the scalp look good. Okay, so I took off the scalp and I decided that I actually wanted to do a little bit more baby hairs because the two on the top just never did work. I just never like it. And I also added a little bit of concealer to the front of my part, so you could see that the part looks a little bit more defined at the front, which I actually really like. So yeah, I was just adding a little bit more right there just to make the part look a little bit wider. Okay, so now I'm liking this a lot better with these minimal baby hairs. Um, my part is a little bit not centered that I'm seeing now, so later on I did go on and change it, but okay, so right here I decided that I needed some more baby hairs because the two baby hairs that I had, I wasn't really feeling it. So I'm just adding a little bit more, and as you can see, these are very thin lines, just like how I like all my baby hairs to be. Nothing big and dramatic and trying to hide the lace. But if you gotta hide it, you gotta hide it. But this is generally how I like everything to look. So I'm just using this spoolie, trying to make the little swoosh, and also using this edges brush as well to try and create the look that I want. But this is pretty much how I install my full lace wig, guys. Like, yes. Um yeah, and I also want to do a video to show you guys how I reapply it, because I know some people personally go ahead and get it installed by a professional and then they want to reinstall it by themselves, and they can. So I think I'm gonna do a video. So bye you guys, I'm gonna sleep. Have a blessed day.